तेन शलाकया चक्षुर्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपदाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी आख्यातादिशतारिणे। जय श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तदे जय श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तदे जय श्री चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय गोविंद जय जय गोपाल जय जय राधा रमन हरि गोविंद जय जय। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमा जय सुदर्शन। जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय पक्षाचार्य। जय प्रभु जय प्रभु जय शुक्ल प्रभुपाद। गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेव। गौर सिद्धनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल जय। Yes, Prabhuji. Can we start?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Start?
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I will spotlight Prabhuji. Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Granthar Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. We'll start with a small song. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana.
Wonderful, Prabhu. Wonderful. Prabhu, you'll share the song.
Vrindavana Ramya Sthanam Divya Chintamani Dama Ratana Mandira Manohara Vrindavana Ramya Sthanam Divya Chintamani Dama Ratana Mandira Manohara Avrita Kalindi Neele Raja Hamsa Keli Kore Tahe Shobhe Kanaka Kamala Avrita Kalindi Neele Raja Hamsa Keli Kore Tahe Shobhe Kanaka Kamala Aramadye Hema Pita Ashtadale Veshtita Ashtadale Pradana Naika Aramadye Hema Pita Ashtadale Veshtita Ashtadale Pradana Naika Taramadye Ratnasthane Bosiya Chendui Jane Shyama Sange Sundari Radhika Taramadye Ratnasthane Bosiya Chendui Jane Shyama Sange Sundari Radhika Orupala Vanyarasi Amiya Poriche Kashi Asya Parihasha Sambhashani Orupala Vanyarasi Amiya Poriche Kashi Asya Parihasha Sambhashani Narottama Dasa Kohe Nitya Leela Sukamoy Sadai Spuruka Moramane Narottama Dasa Kohe Nitya Leela Sukamoy Sadai Spuruka Moramane Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Jai Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe, Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol, Nitai Gaura Haribol. जय श्री श्री राधा श्याम सुंदर भगवान की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna. So it's a pleasure to be with you all again to discuss and glorify Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavatas. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of loving exchanges between the Lord and his devotees. And you all have been systematically studying different prayers of devotees in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are at a very interesting, exciting, esoteric juncture in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is so intense. And sometimes I wonder what Sukadeva Goswami did not dive deep into, what several great Vaishnavas have dealt the subject matter very carefully. How a person like me is going to do justice to this topic of Gopi Geet. And today we are going to set the context, and I'm sure you all will be going through this entire Gopi Geet. Sukadeva Goswami did not speak about Srimati Radharani in Srimad Bhagavatam explicitly and not even elaborately. In fact, he has not even uttered the name of Srimati Radharani in Srimad Bhagavatam. He has just kind of indirectly stated certain things, but he has never gone in deep as he has dealt various other subject matters, because he knew if he had spoken about Srimati Radharani, probably the session would have ended then and there, and poor Parikshit and all of us would be wondering what next. So he controlled his emotions, because the subject matter of glorifying Srimati Radharani and her friends' love for Krishna is very special. The entire Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta is unique and is glorious because by following the process given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is the Harinam Sankirtan Andolan, the Sankirtan mission, is so unique, so special, so sublime. By being part of it, we get the privilege of tasting Krishna Prem. We get to get the mellow of what gopis had enjoyed in Rasa Leela. We will be able to understand, rejoice, the conjugal love between Krishna and his dear gopis by just chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So here we are actually entering into a kind of a Rasa Leela, wherein in the original one, several people were restricted to participate, and several people, including Lord Shiva and Narada Muni and great personalities, could only hear and witness the glories, but not participate, how much ever they tried in their own form. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya, when he appeared and formed Sankirtan mission, and this mission of Sankirtan Yajna, when we all congregate, chant and dance together, it is the same mood as Krishna dancing along with his dearest devotees, gopis and Vrindavan. Srila Rupa Goswami, after his elaborate meeting with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Dasaswamedha Ghat, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has instructed Rupa Goswami to compile the pastimes of Krishna. So Rupa Goswami started compiling and he started writing the book Vidagdha Madhava. So in the process of his writing, he had made some progress and he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again. So he traveled to Jagannath Puri after going through Vrindavan and Mayapur, Navadvip, and he came to Jagannath Puri. To cut the long story short, he came to the outskirts of Jagannath Puri. There is a village or town by name, it's called Satyabama Puri, the name of the place itself. So when he was resting there, he got a dream. In the dream, Queen Satyabama appeared and she said that I knew you are compiling the glories of Krishna, but I want you to describe about Krishna's Dwaraka pastimes separately and elaborately. If you all know by Leela, it was Srimati Radharani's Amsa in Dwaraka is Satyabama. It is said that all the gopis in Vrindavan, when Krishna was going with Akrura, some of the gopis, because of feeling of separation from Krishna, they could not maintain their body. It is said that by the arrangement of Yogamaya, they all left their body. They all took birth as daughters of 16,108 kings. And by the arrangement of Yogamaya, they grew up pretty fast. And when Krishna went to Dwaraka, they were already ready to be part of Krishna's Leela. And eventually Krishna married through some special arrangement these 16,108 queens. According to the Shastras, these are all some of the gopis from Vrindavan who can never have managed to undergo the feeling of separation. But there are some gopis who chose to stay back in Vrindavan and remember Krishna and Krishna's episode. So Srimati Radharani, because she is the Supreme Personality Goddess, she is the Hladini Shakti. So she chose to stay in Vrindavan as well as she wanted to be part of Krishna's Aishwarya Rasa. So she expanded herself as Satyabama and came. So Satyabama appeared in Rupa Goswami's dream and said that you should describe about Dwaraka Leela. Up till that point in time, he had a plan to write only one book. After he got up from the dream, he decided to make it into two books. One is Vidagdha Madhava, second is Lalita Madhava. One glorifying Krishna's Leela up till he left Vrindavan. Another one glorifying Krishna's Leela after Krishna left Vrindavan. And he finally reached Haridas Thakur's house. And when he reached Haridas Thakur's house, he had already been making notes and writing things. So Rath Yatra was at that time. So he went, of course, I'm cutting several, I just want to get to a specific point. So he came for the Rath Yatra. In Rath Yatra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as you all would have heard, he has formed several Sankirtan troops. Jagannath cart is coming and different teams of devotees are singing Kirtan, and Mahaprabhu is going on and joining according to few people's vision. But few people could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present in simultaneously in all the Sankirtan troops. And Kirtan, tumultuous Kirtan was going on. People were jumping and dancing. Tears flowing from Mahaprabhu's eyes. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes that the tears are like a flow of river and splashing over all the people out there. And just imagine that scene. Jagannath is there. Mahaprabhu is dancing. And Rupa Goswami is part of this, and he is witnessing all these things. He could see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu everywhere. One of the few people. And he had a notes in his pocket. He suddenly saw the scene, pulled out a piece of paper and scribbled something then and there. In the Rath Yatra Kirtan, he scribbled the notes. And kept it there, enjoyed the Rath Yatra and went. So when he went home, or when because he was staying with Haridas Thakur, so he went back to his ashram and he kept the notes into, some secret place or some place. Not because it's all some emotions that he has scribbled. So the next day, Rupa Goswami had gone for darshan of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. By that time, Mahaprabhu came to meet Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami at their house. This is daily routine of Mahaprabhu. After darshan of Jagannath Baladev Subhadra, he used to visit Haridas Thakur. And Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So he came after Rupa Goswami wasn't there. He went in and pulled out that sheet. And he read that and he called Jagadananda Pandit, Govinda, Swarup Damodar Goswami, Ramananda Rai, and in the meanwhile, Rupa Goswami also arrived. So he showed the song which glorified about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and how Jagannath is Shyam Sundar, and how when they were seeing each other, they were having wonderful loving exchanges. Some very esoteric content. Mahaprabhu was very happy and he kept on reading this to all the other assembled members and said, "Hey, what do you think of Rupa Goswami? Rupa Goswami, would you want to explain this thing about?" Rupa Goswami was very embarrassed and feeling very shy. He sat on the floor along with Haridas Thakur and he couldn't speak because all of them are super senior to him. Swarup Damodar Goswami mentioned, "My dear Mahaprabhu, I am sure Rupa Goswami could write this only because of your special blessings. I know this is not possible unless otherwise your special blessings is bestowed upon this boy." The point I want to drive home here is the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can enable a person to get access to the mellows of Shri Radha and Krishna's confidential pastimes. Srila Prabhupada being one such person, the recipient of Gauranga Mahaprabhu's mercy. So he is given us some context perspective for us to churn what gopis felt for Krishna and how Krishna reciprocated. There's 4 or 5 chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. They are very emotional, very deep. And if you try to approach them by any amount of intellectual ability, we will fail to understand even an iota of it. So my understanding is that entire Srimad Bhagavatam should be heard from here rather than from brain. But especially this portion of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is dealing with Gopi Geet, we should not only hear from the heart, we should hear from the heart with full surrender. The servants of 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 this Gopi. So hence, before I even delve into this, I want to fall at the feet of all the assembled Vaishnavas, to all my spiritual authorities, and all those because of whose blessings I am still in Krishna conscious, and trying to be Krishna conscious, and all the glories of any services that I've been doing is because of all of those wonderful Vaishnavas' blessings. Seeking their blessings, I will touch base on this topic. Krishna, after shifting to Vrindavan, Krishna has already developed his closeness, fondness, and Krishna has started meeting the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. So, Giriraj Maharaj, Giriraj Govardhan happens to be the witness as well as the facilitator by offering meeting places. So Krishna's meeting became so intense. Day by day, his affinity and attachment to Krishna started to increase. It all began from the time Krishna played with gopis in the Yamuna Ghat and stole their garments. And he forced them to come out without their clothes. It's a leela by itself, wherein it is explained because the gopis were constantly praying to have a good husband, and most of them were desiring that Krishna be my husband. It is explained that by that pastime of Krishna making them come out naked, he has already accepted them as his consort. Because a husband is having the only privilege, or husband is the only one who has the privilege to have access to wife in such a form. So already the intensity of love between Krishna and gopis kept on increasing. And Krishna's loving affinity to gopis and gopis longing for Krishna day by day became intense and intense and intense, that they started to miss each other, almost like, they were just not able to live without each other. And this all began, if at all you all know this, that gopis originally never saw Krishna. Gopis, they had always been village girls, and in Vrindavan there is always especially in a typical village, there's a custom that boys and girls don't just mingle like that. So they never knew about Krishna, they never saw Krishna. Their love for Krishna increased because these gopis had their own brothers in their house. And all of these brothers or friends with Krishna. So when these all boys, they go out to play with Krishna, they used to come back home and do a very detailed narration that how Krishna dressed, what food Krishna brought, and what all they played, who won the game, and several finer details. And when they come home and describe about Krishna, these all girls at home, they used to hear, and each and every gopi used to be hearing in their own respective houses. And every day they used to gather in some nearby well to fetch water, or Yamuna or somewhere to fetch water. And during that time, all these gopis used to do is, they used to gather together and share their notes. What my brother said to her brother said to her brother said. So everybody used to have Krishna Katha. So the beginning of love, beginning of developing of love for Krishna began not by darshanam, it is by shravanam. So our science of Krishna consciousness is so special and intense. Let's learn to see Krishna through our ears. So gopis developed their love for Krishna just by Krishna. Look at Krishna's turban, Krishna's peacock feather, Krishna's waist belt, Krishna's flute, Krishna's tribanga, Krishna's color, Krishna's this, Krishna's that. And by that, their love developed. So much that Krishna became their, life and soul. So the process which Acharyas are explaining is also where by regularly hearing from a bona fide source, from our heart, with surrender, we will be able to also develop that love for Krishna. So a point in time where the intensity increased and secret meetings of gopis started. When the secret meetings started, all these gopis, they cannot meet whenever they wanted, because most of them were already married with children, with in-laws at their houses. And in this entire Leela, for Krishna meeting with gopis, even Balaram facilitated. So what happened was that every day in the night, when all the household chores are done, Krishna used to play a flute, his flute. And Krishna's communication channel, his communication with all the devotees, all the people, all the inhabitants of Vrindavana was unique. And one of the unique ways, his playing of flute. And just by his flute sound, he used to mesmerize everyone. There is a wonderful description Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining about this particular aspect of playing of Krishna's flute in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela. He's explaining that to Rupa Goswami. Superb place. Sometime we should discuss that sequence. We had an elaborate discussion sometimes with devotees, where just by playing of Krishna's flute, how the birds stops chirping, how everything in Vrindavan comes to stand still. And we had an elaborate discussion on what is philosophically it means in our own lives. So sometime we can churn that. So Krishna had a different tune, different way. So certain flute sound, cows will come and assemble. Certain flute sound, all the boys knows that this is a gathering time. So likewise, when Krishna plays his flute sound in a specific tune or specific tone or sound, all the gopis, it is said that it is impossible for them to control themselves in their home. As soon as Krishna's flute sound hit their ears, like an intoxicated person, like a drunk guy, they will not be able to, behold themselves. So, somehow they would express to their family members, I have some urgent things to attend. Will you please let me go? I'll be soon back. You can say this as an excuse for 1 day, 2 days, but not every day. So the husband and in-laws, they would say, no, you can't go. So after a point in time, it became extremely difficult for them to come and meet Krishna and spend quality time, completely enjoying moment with Krishna was not possible. So, but Krishna's harkat of playing flute to call them every day wouldn't stop. So there was a point in time where they started, it is like when a person becomes an addict, initially he will try to hide things so that nobody comes to know. But when the addiction increases, he will not care who thinks of what, because the addiction's intensity is so much so. Gauranga Prabhu once mentioned a very interesting analogy for this. He said, when a boy finishes his school grade 12th and joins a hostel, engineering or medicine or whatever that is, in those days or in our own younger days where there used to be ragging and seniors used to come and rag the juniors. So the senior comes and says, hey, come, let's have a cigarette. So the junior guy who was just come out of school and under father and mother's protection had never done any of those things, he said, no, sir, no, we don't smoke. But somehow those guys force him, hey, smoke, it's okay, nothing wrong. Once in a while, it's okay. So they make him take a puff first day. And the second day also they, come and force. The third day also they come and do that. The fourth day, these boys go to everybody's room and say, can you give me some cigarette to smoke? Because they get so much addicted that they now lose all their fear, lose all their quotients. They only want, somehow they want to get the cigarette done. He was giving this example, like how when you first come to Krishna consciousness, initially somebody has to pull you, drag you, come for the lecture, go for the program. First day somebody has to pull in, second day somebody has to pull in, third day somebody has to bring in. But from the fourth day onwards, because a person has got taste in Krishna consciousness, dancing, prasadam, Vaishnava association, he keep running back. So he used to say, the first 3 kirtans in ISKCON is free. From the 4th onwards, we make you do service. First 3 times you are a newcomer, we'll give you respect, give you garland, give you special seat. We don't ask you anything. We just want you to come. From the 4th kirtan onwards, go and clean the place, distribute plates, clean the prasadam area. Because we want association, we want kirtan, we want people will be ready to anything. And what about those who are completely involved and engrossed? Today morning in our glorification session, Jananivas Prabhu was explaining about Pankajangri Prabhu, wherein he said, after a point in time, service are the only thing that a devotee wants to, that is the only way by which a devotee expresses his love for Krishna. He's so much addicted that he does not see anything else. So gopis came to that level of addiction that they didn't bother what would happen to my image, credibility within the family. Think of a village atmosphere, very close-knit atmosphere. Now they are leaving their home, just like intoxicated madman. They were just leaving their home, completely not bothered what somebody would think. What if they come to find out where did we go? What would be answer? My children are sleeping. My husband is there. In-laws are there. So many people are there. They just left. Of course, the side story is that Krishna used to make them leave their home because Krishna used to intensify his flute playing so much so that nobody could stay back within the house. But without telling these gopis, without telling these ladies, he used to make an arrangement of Chaya gopis, same, identical to them, which means Krishna himself could expand as Chaya gopis or, make his energy to expand and replace them at home. So that all the people in their home, respective homes, would not know that these people have left their houses. For them, they're still there, sleeping, doing whatever they are doing. But these girls or these ladies who left their home, they never knew about this. So there was a transcendental anxiety. So after a great deal of this anxiety and finally when Krishna gathered, Krishna met, naturally, the intensity, the depth, the love, the emotions, the exchanges cannot be expressed by material words. They cannot be even imagined. They have to be just relayed as it is relayed by Sukadeva Goswami. Even that, I can't do it efficiently. So there was a wonderful union. The Rasa Leela was happening. The Rasa Leela, they all had so wonderful time. They were playing with Krishna. But what happened before that was, as soon as they came after such an ordeal, Krishna would ask these gopis, what are you doing here? In the middle of the night? Who called you over here? How come you have, given up your household responsibilities? Go, return home and attend to your duties. These gopis would say, guys, only we knew how we had come over here. All through our lives, we have been serving our husband and children and in-laws. And what we were left with is only pain. All we had in our so-called family life is only some sort of a frustration or satiation. There's no fun there. And that too, Krishna, after being with you, dancing with you, enjoying with you, how in this world you could think that we will be able to stay back home? Now we have come, better play with us and be with us. So, Krishna, after hearing their request, this is to be everyday agenda, not one day, second day. Every day, Krishna को भक्तों को सताने के लिए बहुत अच्छा लगता है. If one thing Krishna likes the most, it is that Krishna puts his devotees in some sort of an ordeal and watch over them to cry for him. And when they completely reach up to the point of surrender, full surrender, he comes and rescues them. I mean, this is not sadist mentality, but this is to explain how whatever you do, aslishyava padaratam pinastumam adarshanaat marmahatam karotuvam yata tatava tatatulam pato mat prananatastu sa eva naparaha. You do anything to the devotees, they will only, come after Krishna. Whether Krishna gives darshan, not give darshan, give Krishna torture, Krishna rewards, Krishna punishes, they consider Krishna as the worshipable Lord. So, finally, Krishna and gopis had a wonderful Rasa Leela. So this has been a everyday routine. One day, which is Krishna was going to wind up very soon, his manifested Vrindavan Leela. So when this all were happening, naturally, these gopis got a slight amount of pride. So that now Krishna is giving attention to me. Because what happened was, during the Rasa Leela, Krishna used to have one-on-one with each of these gopis to make them feel and realize and believe and experience that Krishna is with me only. So when they felt, when they realized, or when they experienced, when they got that attention, they got little proud about those moments. And the moment they were feeling proud, yeah, finally, I am with Krishna and Krishna is with me only. Suddenly Krishna disappeared from their vision. So wonderful Siddhanta explained. Several, explanations have been given to this context. But one obvious thing is, Krishna cannot be achieved by our endeavor. It is Krishna who has to reveal himself out of his own kindness. And Krishna will reveal only to those who are simple, humble, and does not have any upadhis. Of course, here this is a philosophical statement. Gopis' so-called quote-unquote pride is not to classify them as sadhakas' pride. This is purely a statement to state that even in the most transcendental realm of Goloka Vrindavan Dham, when Krishna is playing with his dear gopis, when Krishna was playing with gopis in this Bauma Vrindavan, he would not want a component of pride or arrogance to come in between the loving relationship. So the loving relationship should be absolutely spotless. Then only Krishna will make himself available. Why Krishna? Krishna's Yogamaya is also designed in such a manner that as soon as if you get into the zone of pride and ego, even an iota, even a trace, even a thinking of thinking, Krishna says, I'm sorry, dear. Pure love is pure love. So, when Krishna disappeared, that's when the whole experience of separation really they could understand. Because whenever there is a separation, there had been a union. And a union after a significant amount of separation is also glorious. So that is why in Krishna Leela, we had first Shravanam, Mananam, then Nididhyasanam, developed deeper love, then union, then by this little trick of Krishna, there was separation, desperation, completely longing for Krishna's that moment of association, and once again union, and then permanent physical separation, so-called permanent. And these all stages and moods are part of devotional evolution in our consciousness. They comes with some pain, imbued with pleasure. Or I would say the other way around. They come with unlimited pleasure, imbued with some amount of pain. Transcendental pain. Srila Prabhupada uses, in the context of gopis, few words. One such word he uses is, transcendental fraud brings in transcendental pain. I have never came across the word transcendental fraud anywhere. Before Srimad Bhagavatam, I read Srimad Bhagavatam. If you go and search in Vedabase, transcendental fraud, it will directly point to the way gopis have dealt with Krishna, and Krishna dealt with gopis in that context. So a transcendental fraud, because what they did is not some straightforward transactions. It is somebody else's wife. You are trying to play with them, and that too in a sneak peek way. And now you are torturing them by not being in front of them. And now they have become crazy. So when they got so crazy, so they are moving inside the forest of Vrindavan, looking at various places, saying that, looking for Krishna. Where had he gone? Where has he gone? They started to speak to all these birds, beasts, and trees. And some of them started to imitate the pastimes among themselves to keep themselves, afloat. Otherwise, they would have not been able to manage. Later, whilst wandering the forest, the gopis saw Krishna's footprints, which appeared mixed with Srimati Radharani's. Seeing these footprints perturbed them greatly. And they declared that surely Srimati Radharani must have worshipped Krishna with unusual excellence. And since she had been privileged to associate, that is why she has been privileged to associate with them in seclusion. Even in their transcendental jealousy, they had appreciation for Srimati Radharani. It is not that Srimati Radharani was complained. They didn't complain about Srimati Radharani. They started to feel jealous. Maybe Srimati Radharani did some unusual devotion, so special in such a manner that Krishna is giving, affection to them. And after a point in time, when they were searching after that, they couldn't see, because the way they used to identify is that Krishna's lotus feet imprints is very unique. There are different symbols. And similarly, Srimati Radharani's also have got different emblems there. So when they saw them mixed in only footprints, and they were tracing those footprints, and after a point in time, they didn't see Srimati Radharani's footprints. Only Krishna's footprints were there. So then they kept on tracing them. They realized, oh, probably now Krishna is carrying Srimati Radharani on his shoulders. That is why only Krishna's footprints are there. Because suddenly when Radharani's footprints are vanishing and Krishna's footprints are alone, which means as a part of their play and dance, Krishna has suddenly lifted Srimati Radharani. And they were further going and suddenly noticed that Krishna's footprints are vanished. Only Krishna's toes imprint were there. So these gopis then concluded that they have climbed up to pluck the flowers to decorate his beloved. So they were starting to imagine how Krishna and Srimati Radharani are having very confidential, private, intense union. And all these thoughts were bringing in some amount of intense feelings. Srila Prabhupada writes it as intense pain to the minds of the gopis. And this pain is not material pain. This pain is a pain of a pregnant lady. A pregnant lady's pain is a pain imbued with pleasure, or pleasure imbued with pain. In fact, all the pregnant ladies will accept this fact that in the entire tenure of their pregnancy, if they have not got any pain, no nausea, no vomiting, no giddiness, they would call a doctor and say that I have not got any pain. I have not got any, such symptoms. Is everything okay? Which means in the process of begetting a child, we agree to the fact that I will go through some phase of pain, but I will enjoy, tolerate, accept that pain because I'm going to see my beautiful child coming out. So these gopis used to console themselves that just because of Srimati Radharani's love, she got special attention from Krishna. And Srimati Radharani will be the most fortunate woman. So they couldn't see Krishna the whole night. And they were wandering and wandering and wandering all over the forest. And they went back home, feeling in deep separation from Krishna. It is like a pretty hot summer, Agni Nakshatra. I'm telling a very crudest of examples. You have been thirsty and somebody offered you your Pasandita flavor of ice cream and you had one spoon of the ice cream and somebody snatched it away and you are not able to locate them. You are gone crazy. I'm sorry, it's no comparison to what they have been experiencing, but I'm just saying that if you have been enjoying with Krishna and Krishna suddenly left you alone, and after searching they couldn't locate, what would be their frame of mind? So that is the mood with which all the gopis gathered and composed their own feeling of separation as a song called Gopi Geet, about which we will discuss next week. But this Gopi Geet is just not some village girls' songs. This is the topmost essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. And the highest of the highest Siddhanta are explained. The most unique aspect of this Gopi Geet is, हिंदी में कहते हैं, किसी ने किसी के प्रति शिकायत करते हुए गाया हुआ गीत में पूरे सिद्धांत है. Somebody has composed a song of complaining about how Krishna is really torturing them, and in the process of such a complaint, it was full of glorification. It is the same way the butter stealing pastime, when elderly gopis used to come and speak to Yashoda Maiya, in every complaint, they had glorification of Krishna. Here, this 18-19 verses is only complaint, shikayat, and they are just glorifying Krishna absolutely, transcendental. So we will churn that portion as a part of our next week's discussion. I think we will definitely go over that in detail. I just want to conclude this note here saying that this feeling of separation song is much before Akrura's arrival. I'm sure if much before Akrura's arrival, if gopis have sung in that feeling of separation, what all they would have blabbered and sung and discussed after Akrura took Krishna away from Vrindavan, we can't even imagine and comprehend. So we stay committed and surrendered under the lotus feet of those Vaishnavas who are serving the servants of the servants of the servants of the servants of gopis, to get an iota of the emotions that gopis expressed for Krishna, so that we have a hope that this human form of life that is being given to us gets perfected. Vrindavan Dham is not just one place. There are 5 types of dham. Number 1 is Goloka Vrindavan Dham. Number 2 is Baume Vrindavan Dham, where actually Krishna performed his Leela. Number 3, it's called Drishyaman Dham. The Dham which we are not so familiar with. It's a Dham that has got a filter over it. Depending upon our consciousness, we will be able to see that Dham. For somebody, Vrindavan is only filth and pigs and monkeys. For somebody, it is little more, deeper. For somebody, it is Chintamani Dham. It depends upon our consciousness. The 4th Dham is wherever pure devotees reside. That place is a Dham. And 5th Dham is the heart of a pure devotee, where he is constantly glorifying, remembering about the Supreme Lord. The reason I am saying this is, this gopi's feeling for separation is the same mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has emulated and has created several Vrindavan, several moods of Vrindavan, and we, the followers of Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta, when we resonate with that mood, we will also be able to appreciate the song of separation by the gopis. So when we learn or we discuss those songs, we will know that it is coming from a very intense corner, and we will learn some aspect of pure goodness which is unavailable in this materialistic world. So thank you so much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Gaudiya Vaishnavas, all glories to the wonderful gopis of Vrindavan Dham. Thank you so much for engaging me in this service. If there are any questions or comments, I'll be happy to respond.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhuji, this day was Sharad Purnima day, Prabhuji, just to means when it was sung, the Gopi Geet.
Can you come again?
The Gopi Geet was written the day, the night was Sharad Purnima night. Is it?
The exact muhurta I don't know, but I guess it is on the Sharad Purnima night. I guess so. I'm not so sure. Maybe somebody else can validate this. But this happened just in terms of the chronology. It happened 2 days before, 2 or 3 days before Akrura was going to, not 2 days, maybe a few days before Akrura was going to come, because right after this, Krishna is killing. After this Gopi Geet, Aristasura pastime happened. Then Krishna killed the Kesi demon and Vyomasura on the same day. And the day Krishna killed the Kesi demon, that night Akrura reached. The next day morning, Krishna left with Akrura. So I am not so sure if it is on Sharad Purnima night, but it could be also. I'm not so sure about it. Sorry.
Wonderful class, Prabhu. Especially the Jagannath. You told about Jagannath and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Rath Yatra. So that really is wonderful. We can just imagine. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very wonderful.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, who are gopis, Prabhuji? Can you little throw light on that?
Who are gopis?
How did why only they got such an intimate relationship with Krishna?
Prabhu, I do not want to speculate. I may not know the exact context on how gopis became gopis. I very vaguely remember something, but maybe I'll have to check, or maybe anyone else can say, maybe Haridas Varya or anyone else can say who are gopis. Why they are so special. In one session I've heard that because they heard the pastimes of Krishna from an authentic source, and they got the privilege of seeing Krishna. But who are gopis in their own constitutional arrangement? They are, I presume so, they are eternal residents, and they came here and just went back. And why they got such an intimate arrangement? It is the same question that why Mother Yashoda got the privilege than anyone else. So I don't know. I'm not expert in those details. So maybe I'll find out some source, or maybe somebody else in this forum can respond. But for sure, it is because when they heard from a bona fide source about the glories of Krishna, because they heard, because they were regularly hearing about Krishna's beauties and started to desire to meet them, they eventually got an opportunity to be with Krishna. And also because they were simple, not had any quotients, so they could get this privilege. I have no other details that I could, authentically share now. Haridas, you have something to say?
Well, not very authentic, but we do hear from Garga Samhita, Narada Muni mentions one part of the gopis, who are from the sages in the Dandakaranya forest, but they whom Lord Ramchandra gave the blessing for them to be gopis, but they are of a different kind. Even in gopis, there, as you rightly said, Ramgirjari Prabhu, there are different kinds. But I can find out. I do not know the practical answer.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I heard that now what he said from Sri Ram Swami's time now, Sri Ramachandra's past time. Some sages, they wished, like that. And then also from exactly Goloka also some gopis are there. And some Swargaloka, some also. They are all wished to stay or playing with the Lord. And so many reasons in that Vrindavan, gopis, not only from one source I heard like this. From Goloka also there, and Swargaloka also there, and Ramachandra's time sages also there.
In the Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 29th chapter, 9th verse, somebody can share. SP 10.29.9 says, Antargraha gata kaschit gopyo labda sinirgamaha krishtam tad bhavana yukta dadyur milita lochanaha. He says some of the gopis, however, could not manage to get out of their houses, and instead they remained home with eyes closed. And in that context, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, in the second paragraph, if you go down, it says, in this context, we will make our analysis according to the method described by Rupa Goswami's Ujjwala Nilamani. So that is the text which gives us further details about the gopis. There are two categories of gopis: the eternally perfect Nitya Siddhas, and those who have become perfect by practicing Bhakti Yoga, the Sadhana Siddhas. And then the Sadhana Siddhas are also of two categories: special groups, those who belong to special groups, and those who do not belong to special groups. And there are also two classes of the gopis belonging to special groups, namely the Sruticharis, who come from the group of the Personified Vedas, and the Rishicharis, which is the Ramachandra group, which we just discussed. So I think we can take this Prabhupada's purport as beaten into how we can understand gopis.
There is further classification also from the Padma Purana.
Yeah. So we can read that. Gopyasya Shrutyo Jnaya Rishikja Gopakanyakaha Devakanyasya Rajendra Namahnishya Katanjana. It is understood that some of the gopis are personified Vedic literatures, while others are reborn sages, daughters of cowherds, or demigod maidens. But by no means, my dear king, there are any ordinary humans. Here we are informed that although gopis appear to be human cowherd girls, they were actually not. Thus the contention that they are mortals are refuted. I think Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
It's very clearly written here by Prabhupada that the Gopya Kanya gopis are actually Nitya Siddhas, eternally perfect devotees of the Lord. Is established by a statement in Brahma Samhita 531, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pradipavitaves, which proves that they are the Lord's spiritual pleasure potency. Similarly, we have the words of the Gautmiya Tantra, Hiladiniya Mahashaktihi. Further corroboration of the eternal perfection is that these gopis, being co-eternal with Lord Krishna, their lover, are mentioned along with him in the 18-syllable mantra, the 10-syllable mantra and others, and also that the worship of these mantras and also the Shrutis that present them have been in existence since beginningless time. I think it's very long purport. One has to read slowly. It requires a separate class, though. But
and a special audience too.
Yeah, and
but the speaker is the same. That I can say.
Yeah. Haridas Avarya. And
No.
Prabhuji, that is currently speaking.
Are you able to see this picture, Prabhu?
Picture though, we can see the text.
Okay, this is in gist, but I don't know this is the right forum to share this. But anyway, because the question has come. So there are major classifications. One is Swakiya and another is Parakiya. And even in Parakiya, there are three categories. One is Nitya Priya. They are one type. And then Sadhana Para. And then Devi. The demigoddess, they become the gopis, In Sadhana Para, there are again further two classifications. Yavuktihi and Ayavuktihi. The gopis who remain alone and the gopis who remain in social groups. Nitya Priya, again, Mukhya and all other Nitya Siddhas. There are two categories. Even in Mukhya, there is Radha and another is Chandravali. See, Radha and Chandravali categorized from where to where. So much details are there. That is from Ujjvala Nilamani. But these topics are not to discuss in common forum. In a closed devotee circle, those who are in that plane, we should discuss. That's I learned from that senior devotee, but the question arises, just a snapshot is given. But there are details. We need not, unless we mature that state, we should not discuss about this. This topic itself we must have taken during Kartik month so that the devotee's mood will be, we can release those songs and with the other prayers. You may think about it. Hare Krishna.
So one of the questions that I had from you is that while we are reading this Gopi Geet and while we are trying to understand that we cannot understand, and then we see that there are acharyas who have written extensive commentary and layers of meanings of what the gopis are really saying and what are they trying to intend to do it or to say to Krishna or requesting or chastising him. So how, and some of them are very different. Well, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur might say something different, Sanatana Goswami might say something different. So how is that we correlate as a sadhaka at our level? Do we keep ourselves away? Do we keep ourselves limited to the purports? Or the way is just fall at the feet of a Vaishnava and request him to make us understand? What is the right way to approach? Because this is very core heart of Bhagavatam. So, and then there has been enough warnings given to us before we delve on this. So what would you suggest is a practical way to approach on this?
Wonderful question. Today morning, Swarna's Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj was glorifying about Pankajangri Prabhu. And at that time, he made a very profound statement. I mean, of the entire session, there were a few statements, it's registered in my heart very deep. One of them, he said, just by having attraction and affinity for a pure devotee, attraction in the sense of respect, love, regards, service attitude, appreciation, is itself a devotional service. You don't even, I mean, for sure, you have to serve them and, be with them and do them. So, the beginning part of my realizations, I'll tell you, the beginning aspect of knowing all this subject matter and getting into the esoteric is to have some natural appreciation and affinity towards our spiritual authorities, spiritual master. Because if theoretically you want to understand and get to know the subject matters, books are published, they are available in the market, go out there, pick up, read them, and you have the information. But to assimilate the mood, it's actually a layer. It is actually stages. It is actually progressive learning. And Srila Prabhupada would have never encouraged anyone to have studied Chaitanya Charitamrita unless they had studied Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. That does not mean that nobody can come and sit in the Chaitanya Charitamrita session. But then the intense depth analysis, churning of those subject matters, as Prabhu pointed out, Ujjwala Nilamani, Madhurya Kadambini, Vidagdha Madhava, Lalita Madhava, and you can go on naming those literatures. There need to be some sort of an attraction and affinity towards our own spiritual master, our own spiritual process that we have been empowered or blessed with by our spiritual authorities. We should have been consistent in those practices. So bottom line is, if I am not loving Krishna and Krishna's dear devotees, if I am not consistent in my sadhana and my practices, if I am not regularly executing the services to the best ability and have understood or trying to understand the basics of Krishna conscious Siddhanta, these subject matters are something that we should refrain from in diving deep into it. The second reflection is, by doing all those things that I just said, naturally, you will be exposed to, you will be participating to, or somebody will encourage you to participate, or you will be given the privilege to be part of a sangha where such conversations are happening. And that way, Krishna would enable you and reveal himself to you. And third, and most importantly, it is explained that there are several bona fide medicines, but all bona fide medicines are not recommended medicines. Srila Prabhupada, in general instruction wise, said that Gita Govinda is not supposed to be dive deep into by our devotees. But Jayadeva Goswami is a bona fide representative, bona fide acharya. So his narrations and descriptions about Radha and Krishna's pastimes are glorious. When Prabhupada made such a statement, those statements are supposed to be honored in general, where those are all not our medication, recommended medication, prescribed medication. If somebody has to consume them, it's like steroids. If it has to be taken up, it is to be taken up under some guided, monitored arrangement. So my third step is, third reflection is this, that we should limit ourselves to Bhaktivedanta purports, or if you want to take additional dosages, needed more sweetness, get it from a monitored source, so that you know for sure that we are not doing any rasabhas. The biggest challenge here is, Jayapataka Maharaj once gave a class in Sri Vrindavan Dham, where he was expressing his displeasure over devotees getting into Sahaji Abhav and dressing themselves as gopis and Krishnas and some sort of a weird esoteric behavior, amateurishly. Srila Prabhupada, Jayapataka Maharaj said that was not the mood Srila Prabhupada had set for the current context in Kali Yuga. We have several secrets that are not yet revealed and known to us, even about Radha and Krishna and various other personalities. And we have a long way to go. So the easiest and safest route is, as a third step, is to get these medicines under some governance, under some direction. Otherwise, this can have an adverse effect on the practitioner. And last but not least, that sometimes we realize that these kathas and leelas are, by knowing new of them, they get excitement. But the real excitement is knowing one leela, hearing them again and again, hearing them again and again and again, and dwelling into this, diving into this, going deeper into this, gives the same pleasure. And those privileges are available for us as practicing devotees, where we can churn Krishna Katha, the context, especially Ramayana, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Leela, plenty of forums in which we have been sharing and churning, and we always feel ever fresh. Having said that, on a special arrangement from special devotees, we get to hear them, and when we get through that source, it becomes much assimilatable and somewhat relatable. Otherwise, we will not be able to join the dots properly. It may have an adverse effect. So my humble request is and suggestion that I have a little bit whatever I've been knowing is to follow through these steps 1, 2, 3, 4 the way in terms of the order of priority also would help us in getting deeper into such leelas and kathas. On a side note, anyway, these leelas and kathas you will never enjoy till the point in time we are engaging ourselves in the loving service of our spiritual authorities. Teachings of Queen Kunti, chapter 2, last line, purport. Because we are doing a systematic study of teachings of Queen Kunti. Prabhupada writes, a neophyte devotees should be able to glorify and love Krishna by visiting temple and taking darshan. I'm paraphrasing. But those who are advanced should express their love for Krishna by attentively engaging themselves in his loving service. Which is what today morning about Pankajangiri Prabhu, when they glorified two things. Number one, Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj said how both Jananivas Prabhu and Pankajangiri Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj, both of them said how Jananivas Prabhu was so much involved and engrossed in his service that he didn't have any other distraction or attraction. And at the same time, they have been knowing so many esoteric and deeper pastimes, both of Chaitanya Leela as well as of Krishna Leela, that only they could know. From where they could know, we were not so sure. But when you hear from them, it is now, added to the necessary flavor so that we can be the recipient of, Thank you so much, Prabhu, for pulling that out. Read the last line. The advanced devotees to meditate upon him by active service. So that's the secret of our Krishna consciousness. Is that okay, dear?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for very clear, progressive. I mean, the best part is this: the path is never regressive. It's so progressive that it always keeps going, and that kind of keeps the nectar for us to go and churn it more. So this progressive path is really helpful. Thank you, Prabhu.
And one interesting point is that after a point in time, it is not we are walking. After a point in time, we are pushed forward. So our endeavor is not to just leave that, route. So I am into that groove. If I am just continuing to stay there and follow the instructions and not leave, very soon I will get to see everything that is explained. But if I jump guns or saying that, there is one more fast express that is going, probably if I take that, I will reach Mayapur faster than others. Then we have a chance of, missing the chance. I have seen in my own lives these 2-3 devotees. One of them is a disciple of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, who used to regularly come to Radha Rasbihari temple. Those days he used to be called a very senior devotee. Eventually he left ISKCON. He, broke his Brahmin thread, saying that you ISKCON are really primitive guys. There are other forums, other gurus, other Babajis can actually give me access to the deeper aspect of Radha and Krishna's pastimes. And he rejected Gopal Krishna Maharaj, rejected the ISKCON Sangha and went and joined and became whatever Babaji or whatever that is. Very disheartening. And sometimes, even Ritviks for that matter. Those are all very disheartening. So those are all those people who are trying to, while going in a specific train, they're jumping and going to another train saying, this train is faster than mine. So let me go and jump there and I'll reach the destination faster. So we are so fortunate that we are in such an express where surrounded by reliable, wonderful devotees, for sure, at the end we will see Krishna.
Very nice, Prabhu. Thank you.
Prabhu, also you mentioned that, the books are available in the market. Prabhupada wants, it is available. By reading it, one cannot become a doctor, By reading medical book, one cannot become a doctor. He has to admit in the, in a medical college under a professor, undergo the exams, pass the test, undergo training 1 year, and then specialization, then, a practitioner. The long way. As I said, when we read book, we get information. to transform from information to knowledge, there is a long between. And the knowledge to transform into realized knowledge, then another huge process. Then the realized knowledge to become absolute knowledge, a very long way to go. People, as I said, getting into first year admission, they said, oh, I'm already MBBS. This is what happened.
We were cutting joke the other day that those who are COVID, time graduated guys, doctors or lawyers, because now no exam, no practical being conducted in the college, all MCQs online. So you have to be wary of such a doctor. So you have to ask, if you go to any doctor and say, when did you graduate? If it is during COVID period, probably
2020 not accepted.
So on a lighter note, because they would have not gone to, lab, they would have not done anything practically. Some bookish, some
Online.
MCQ guys, online wala. I graduated 3 semesters by doing so. So my law, I finished my law, just one more semester pending. So 3 semesters only MCQs. So what kind of a lawyer I would be?
No, Prabhu, Krishna is so merciful on you so that you can focus on spiritual life.
We can always give some siddhanta like that, but then when I go and face the consequences.
You can't draw purports to these answers. But thank you so much for wonderful class with the churn. And we also expect you to churn it further in the coming weeks in some parts of these Gopis prayers. And because it's a long set of prayers, and we will have multiple speakers, but we will definitely be eager to hear from you in the coming weeks as well. Over to you, Satesha Prabhu.
We have Japa talk also. Prabhu, you will be here. Ramgiridhar Prabhu, you'll be here, or you want to leave?
No, I can stay back.
Okay, because we want to pray for your father-in-law, this one, and also we want to pray for today's class also. That is why we will pray after the Japa talk, Prabhuji, if you don't mind. Right. Thank you. Mataji, are you ready? Sarvapalika Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. I just want to share one slide.
Yeah. Purushottam Prabhu, please.
Done. Mataji, you can share.
Can you see, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji, we can see.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances, and thanks to Satesha Prabhuji for giving me a chance to speak a few words about Japan. I would like to start with a short story about a pastime of Sanatan Goswami. I am sure everyone must have heard this before. There was a Brahmana who was a very staunch follower of Lord Shiva. And every day praying to Lord Shiva, the Lord was very pleased with him, because we know Shiva is Asutosh. He is Bholenath. So Lord Shiva said, what do you want? Then the Brahmana said, whatever good you have in your treasure chest, you can give it to me. So Shiva said, you go to Vrindavan and meet Sripad Sanatan Goswami. He will give you what you want. So this Brahmana came down to Vrindavan and met Sanatan Goswami. Sanatan Goswami was doing bhajana, and this Brahmin narrated the whole story to Sanatan Goswami. How he met Shiva, Lord Shiva, and asked for wealth, And Lord Shiva in turn told him to go to Vrindavana and meet Sanatan Goswami. So Sanatan Goswami asked, do you want wealth? Yes, said the Brahmana, I want wealth. Lord Shiva said, you have wealth and you can give me wealth. So Sanatan Goswami said, go there and you will find the touchstone. So he followed the direction, and interestingly, he found the touchstone, but it was kept inside a garbage bin. So he picked up the touchstone and he was very happy, as now he has the touchstone. So it said, if we rub the touchstone to iron, it will turn into gold. This person was very happy as he got the touchstone. But now this Brahmana was thinking, if the Goswami had kept the touchstone in the garbage box, that means he has something more valuable than this. Because no sane man can put the touchstone in the trash and just sit like a normal person. So now he goes to Sanatan Goswami and told him that my logic says, since you kept the touchstone in the garbage bin, do you have something more valuable than this touchstone? Sanatan Goswami said, yes. Then Brahmana became very happy. He said, then give me that. Sanatan Goswami said, for that, you will have to put the touchstone back into the garbage bin. So this guy was in a fix. So he told Sanatan Goswami, can't I have both the touchstone as well as the wealth that you are going to give me now? Sanatan Goswami said, no, you have to throw the touchstone in the garbage. Only then will I give you what I have. So this Brahman went to the garbage. Reluctantly, he threw the touchstone in the garbage bin. Now he was very happy as he knew he's going to get much more valuable than this touchstone. Sanatan Goswami did not give him any material objects. He did not give him any gold. What Sanatan Goswami gave was the Harinam. So Sanatan Goswami gave the Harinam, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the Brahmana said, you did not give me anything but this mantra. This is just a mantra. Is this more valuable than a touchstone? Sanatan Goswami said, don't doubt the name of Shri Krishna. The Harinam will be with you in however happy or in distressed condition you are. The Harinam will always be with you. It will always protect you. Why? Because Krishna and holy name are non-different, abhinna. They both are the same. So this was Harinama Chintamani. So Sanatan Goswami is showing to the world through this pastime of Brahmana that Harinam is much more valuable than any other wealth or jewelry of this world. Harinam is very powerful. So in this slide, we see the 4 legs of Dharma. Sriman Mahaprabhu explains what is the effect of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Because before we begin something, we always want to know what will be its effect, right? Why should I chant? Why should I take to this process? We are questioning everything. So before people take something, they have to be convinced. Why should I chant the Hare Krishna mantra? Because my time is very precious. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this beautiful verses of Shikshashtakam, compares this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the fire of a yajna. So we always have yajna with a fire in the middle. And the pujari is pouring ghee into the fire. Is it not? So therefore, it is described in the Satya Yuga, the process was meditation. And then austerity vanished. And so only mercy, cleanliness, and truthfulness remain. So now, without austerity, how can we do meditation? So in the next yuga, they shifted to performing yajna, and then cleanliness disappeared. So when cleanliness disappeared, we cannot do yajna. So they started to do deity worship. And then they found that mercy disappeared. And then ultimately what remained was truthfulness. Therefore, in the age of Kali, only truthfulness remains. And out of the 4 legs, 3 legs are gone. 3 legs of dharma are gone. So therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave us the simplest process by which all the effects of all the yajnas, all sacrifices, all kinds of austerities and meditations and all deity worship can be attained. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the Harinama Sankirtan Mahayajna, in which practically in this fire of yajna, all of our negative desires will be consumed to ashes. And so Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sikshastakam gives this beautiful verse which compares this Harinama Sankirtan to a great blazing fire. It is like the Sankirtana Mahayajna, the fire of the Sankirtan Yajna, which is going to consume all our material desires. So simply by chanting this Mahamantra, all auspiciousness is guaranteed. So we have the tongue, we have the holy name, we have the energy, we have the time. Only if we become little enthusiastic, little faithful, and we put our energy in chanting these holy names, we get all benefits. It said all that was achieved in all the other yugas is still achieved simply by chanting the holy name of Shri Krishna, still in this degraded age of Kali Yuga. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. And we can achieve everything. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful. Hare Krishna. We'll all listen to Namaste Narsimha from the devotee. Rajeshwar Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Are you available?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah. Mataji is ready?
Yeah, ready.
Right. Very nice. Yes. Yesterday, you can show your deities to everybody, Prabhu. Yesterday, they welcomed Jagannath Baldev Subhadra in their house.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yes. And now Mataji will sing Namaste Narsimha for all of us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, welcome. Please start, Mataji.
Sound is low, Mataji.
Namaste Narasimhaya Praladadaine Hiranyakashi Purvakshata Silakanta Nakalaya Ito Nasimha Parato Nasimha Yato yato yami tato Narasimha Bhai Narasimha Narasimha Mahim Sharanam Prapate Tava Karakamala Varenaka Adbhuta Singa Danita Hiranyakashipo Tanamilla Keshavadita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha नरसिंह जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय भक्त प्रहलाद जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव गुरुदेव जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Rajeshwar Prabhu, can we see the deities?
I think
Haribol?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, can we? Haribol.
Jai,
Let's all
Jai,
pray
Jai.
together one time of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra so that he can serve Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra and Gaur Nitai properly. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Now we will all pray for Ram Giridhari Prabhu, who left this world and went to spiritual planet. He was his father-in-law and a guide also. So we will just pray for him to bless Ram Giridhari Prabhu so that he can give more katha for all of us and he can also enlighten us. Hari Bol. So we will pray three times Hare Krishna mantra for him. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
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 Hare,
Rama.
Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, everybody, for participating with us. We also have few people suffering from COVID, so we will pray. One is Prabhu, Purushottam Prabhu's friend. Then also we have our regular member, Leela Mataji's husband. He's not yet fully recovered. So she wants prayers from all of you and blessings. So we will pray for them. Anybody you want to pray, please let me, please pray for them so that they will get the blessings of the Lord through all our prayers. Let us chant one time of Hare Krishna for them. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Anybody else wants to add anything, please? So I'm very thankful to Prabhu for giving us a very nice class and also for Taropalika Mataji for giving enlightening us, and also Rajeshwar Prabhu's wife. She has given us a very nice, she has sung very nicely Namaste Narasimha, and also they have dressed very nicely the deities, Haribol, and Purushottam Prabhu for adding very nice points. So for everybody's development in Krishna consciousness, we will just say one time of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So we will all meet Friday again.